You are listening to
the WrestleGeddon podcast.
WrestleGeddon podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's another Friday night, and you know the place to be. It's right here on youtube.com/forthecollection, facebook.com/WrestleGeddonPod with 1D, and it is the WrestleGeddon podcast. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Chris the Heat Matthews, just another bearded fat guy, and your other host, the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland. Carl, what's going on, man?
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my hands. You would think by, doing the podcast now for 3 or 4 years, I would know what to do with my hands. But everything I can think of takes 15 minutes. So it lasts a pretty good while.
Oh, man. Yeah, it sucks when you don't know what to do with your hands. Oh, awesome stuff, though. Been a pretty solid week this week. I finished up my final week with the current company that I'm working for and starting my new job on Monday. So pretty excited for that. Lots of good stuff going on. So pretty psyched, pretty excited. And my wife's calling me. Do this live.
Don't have to interrupt the podcast.
Hello.
So I took a gamble that you weren't recording yet.
Well, we're recording and you're live.
Oh, great. Well, I just want to make sure I didn't need to pick up medicine for the kids.
That's fine.
Get relief.
I haven't given them anything yet, but we still have the Dayquil and the NyQuil.
You was also supposed to check the news next before you came home.
There's enough of that. There we go. All right.
I got no gas.
That's enough to get you home.
I don't want my gas to get that low.
I know. Okay, bye.
Bye.
You said bye.
Now we got to start the whole thing over. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I gotta start all over again. Sorry, folks.
We're live. Shit. Fuck.
She's like, I was hoping to catch you before. It's like 9 o'clock. It's after 9. It's like,
yeah. To be fair, we have been going live at like 19.
Yeah. That is true. But the one night that we don't. Oh, awesome stuff. All right, so that was my wife.
Yeah. Make sure the kids had medicine, so that's always good.
Our kids are getting over a cold that they had earlier this week, so they got just their residual coughs left that they're working through. So
yeah.
But they're good.
That's what happens when you play in the snow too long.
Yeah. They weren't out there that long. They were maybe 15 minutes because they forgot their gloves. They couldn't find their gloves. So they're my hands are cold. My hands are cold. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Deal with it.
After your fifth snowball, the shit burns.
Yeah.
Trust me, I was out there without gloves. I'm like, man, that shit burns.
I have to make a snowball, put my hands in my pockets for a few minutes, make another one. But it was fun. We didn't get as much snow as some other places in the state did, but it was a decent amount enough for the kids playing it.
Yeah.
It was enough to warrant school closings and 2-hour delays and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. My kids get the short end of the stick because they're year round and they're on track out. So all the snow days, they were out anyways.
Jeez. Oh, that sucks. Well, I guess that's a plus for you guys. You didn't have to scramble and oh God, there's no school today.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that's what's been going on around here. But let's get into the random band entrance theme. For fuck's sake, the random band this week was Bill Withers. Bill Withers. That was a. We were talking about this before we started recording. How many songs that we actually knew from Mr. Bill Withers. So most of them, like "Lean on Me" and "Just the Two of Us." Like majority of those songs, I only heard like covers of growing up, so I didn't really know that it was that Bill Withers was the original artist.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm gonna go first this week since you went first last week.
And I stole yours. I'll steal mine.
I picked "Use Me."
You son of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
Oh man, I didn't have a backup either. That's what I picked.
Well, I got a backup. And I'm gonna go with "Better Off Dead." Another kind of like breakup song, but I like the beat. Has a good beat to it. And good instrumentation. It'll be a good entrance.
That was actually one I was thinking about using too. So I was going back and forth between those two.
I also was going to think about doing "Lovely Day." It's coming out to like kill vibes. Gonna be a lovely day. Just imagine like somebody getting beat up like to "Lovely Day." I'm gonna be a lovely day.
That's like having a horror movie and people getting killed just singing in the rain.
That's from what was it, Clockwork Orange?
Was it Clockwork Orange or was it might be
It's like the Clockwork Orange. It's a lady while singing that song.
Awesome stuff. All right, who we got for next week?
Next week, we have Huey Lewis and the News.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah, I heard of them, but it's not nothing's popping up in my head.
Really? Back to the
Yeah,
Future.
Which song?
Power of Love.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna go back in time.
Okay.
Yeah, he was actually.
I know that.
Huey Lewis was actually in Back to the Future, in the first movie when Michael J. Fox's band was trying out for like the talent show or something, and he gets on the bullhorn and he's like, "Son, I'm afraid that you're just a little too loud." I like Huey Lewis. If this is it, please let me know. I want a new drug.
Is that okay? I've heard "I Want a New Drug." I want a new drug. Okay. Is that the News too, or is that just Huey Lewis?
Nah, that's Huey Lewis and the News. Awesome. So there we go. Huey Lewis and the News for next week. Bill Withers for this week. All right, let's hop over to the instant replay. Brought to you by no one. Just us. All right. A lot of stuff to talk about this week in the instant replay. Quite a bit of little news tidbits that have popped up. Most of these, a couple of them are kind of rumor things we'll get into, and there's some other stuff. We'll start off with one of the bigger ones here. Sting has made a formal announcement that he's going to retire the Sting persona in 2025. So as far as like appearing at conventions and stuff, after this year, Sting will no longer be appearing at conventions in full face paint and gear.
That's cool.
So I mean, it's you said it's pretty much it's 2025 or never. So I mean, at this point, it's like not many people still come to the conventions and stuff in full gimmick. Sting is one of the few that does. I believe Demolition shows up in face paint. And I think that's pretty much it. Road Warrior Animal, when I met him, he was in face paint. Trying to think of anybody else at conventions that I met, but pretty much everyone else is just there, like, and just, you know, the regular, like Ron Simmons. The couple of times I've seen him at cons, he's just been sitting there with his damn t-shirt on or like a polo or something. The Steiners were there, like, polo. Wasn't anything like
I won't say Kane still sometimes puts on that like he don't wear it the whole time, but he'll put on not the like old school one, but the
newer
one after he puts it. Yeah.
Hair. Damn.
Yeah. He'll put it on.
I know he does that for photo ops. But yeah, most everyone is just pretty much there. Like Mick Foley's there. Like I've seen Mick Foley a few times. He's just there in his, you know, normal
Rey Mysterio.
Like, everything. Rey Mysterio. Well, Rey Mysterio never takes that mask off when he's at a public appearance anyway. So yeah, I mean, hey, kudos to Sting. Like you've had a big enough career. I think it's, you know, I don't think anybody's got a problem with you deciding, hey, I'm not going to do these conventions in full face paint and, you know, gear anymore. So I think when Garrett and I met him, he was at Big Time Wrestling. He wasn't in face paint. He was just wearing the sunglasses. So
yeah, I never was like a huge fan of Sting, so like it wouldn't bother me if he was in face paint or not. Because I'd never probably pay for a photo op unless he like offered a free photo or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So I think I definitely want to. I know his price has gone up for photo ops, or signatures and photo ops and stuff, like so many other people have. Like I've met Sting. Like I would like to meet him again if I could. Get a picture of him in the full gear and get like a better figure signed than the one that I got initially. So
what he should do instead of retiring it, he should do like retire Crow Sting and then shave his head and bleach it and do like Surfer Sting. Like just go like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, and then retire. Then retire.
Retire on the Blade Runner Sting. Oh man, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're looking to meet Sting and get him in full gear and stuff, this will be your last year to do it. So as far as like being in full gear, from my understanding of it.
Yeah, because I was a fan of the like Surfer Sting when I was little, you know.
Yeah.
But the Crow Sting, I never was like a huge fan until he joined the Wolfpack and had like a red face paint, and I like that for some other reason because I was a teenage boy and like, oh, red and black,
Hell yeah, because the Wolfpack was cooler than the regular NWO. It had all the cool guys in it.
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, like I've never been like a huge fan of Sting, and like I don't ever remember rooting for Sting in like any of his matches like I can think of. Like I'd always want him to get beat by whoever he was versing.
I think when I started watching WCW, of course, it was like around the time of the start of the NWO when Scott Hall showed up and everything like that. Like I've known of Sting, like I'd seen Sting prior to that, but I wasn't like a big fan. I didn't really become like into Sting matches and stuff until around that time frame. I think probably one of the the whole NWO thing with him, and then I think towards the later end of the career, the run for Nitro is him and Vampiro, were I think probably some of my more fond memories of Sting matches. And then of course like TNA, Sting was pretty awesome in TNA. I think probably had, besides his AEW run, I think the TNA run was probably one of the better runs in his career.
Sting to me, I don't know, is just like one of those people that always like look cool. And hung out in the Raptors and felt like that. Like to me, like his like in ring work to me was like never there. He's kind of like the Hulk Hogan's and
That's what I say. I thought he was better than Hogan.
yeah. I mean, as far as like in ring work, you know what I mean? Like Hulk Hogan, some of his in ring work, like as far as like move set and stuff like that, is not incredible, but it's the show that gets you there, if that makes sense. Like the pageantry, and to me, he may have been like a favorite in my book if he had, I don't know, like if you took like Sting's persona and gave him like Bret Hart's like in ring like skill set and moves and stuff, that would have made like an incredible wrestler, probably like greatest of all time. But Bret Hart lacked the charisma. Sting had the charisma and looked like the in-ring work for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of either one. And when people tell me they're their favorite of all time, I'm like, yeah, they're kind of overrated, and they get mad at me and start throwing shit.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, as I've been doing more for the podcast on TikTok and stuff, you see, like, as the algorithm for that shifts, and I start seeing more like wrestling videos and stuff, and you watch this and you see a lot of people with differing opinions, and you look at and you go and read some of the comments just for shits and giggles, and it's like, oh, well, you don't like so and so, well, you suck. Like, I don't understand why you don't like so and so. It's like, okay, it's personal preference, dude. Like, I don't have to like, it's like you're not a fan of Orange Cassidy. I like Orange Cassidy. Like, we don't sit here and argue over it because you don't like Orange Cassidy and I do. I mean,
I know we've argued. We've argued quite a bit,
but it wasn't to the point that where you're like, you fucking suck, or I don't want to talk to you anymore, or stuff like that. And it's more of like a debate type thing instead of like an argument,
or a friendly banter type thing.
So friendly banter, I guess, but. It's like those other things too. Like, you give me shit for not being a huge Ric Flair fan. So I mean, it's just what it is. So like we say all the time, wrestling's an art form. Art is subjective. Like, you don't have to like every artist out there. Like, you like the art that resonates with you, and that's what pro wrestling is. You like the characters and the storylines that resonate with you. So.
Unless your favorite wrestler is Nia Jax, then I have no respect for you.
She is on TV right now, though. Awesome. All right. Adam Copeland, an interview. I could not remember where this interview came from. Like, where I got the quotes from. They didn't have like a source.
You mean Cope?
Cope. Well, Adam Copeland says he's seen a lot of talent put pressure on themselves to attain high star ratings in matches. And he went on to say, star ratings for wrestling. He's like, what does that even mean? The pressure that I see talent put on themselves to try to attain this thing that doesn't even exist, just to go and have. It's like, just go and have fun. That's what it's supposed to be. That's why you go into wrestling, is to have fun. It's like, there's no other reason to do it. It's not normal to land on your back for a living. So I've never agreed with a statement more in my life for professional wrestling. Aside from Bill Goldberg ended Bret Hart's career. But that's what it is. Like Meltzer has put this 5-star system out there where all these, you get all these younger wrestlers coming up. It's like, oh my God, I gotta get a 5-star match. I need a 5-star match. Like, what's my star rating? What's this? What's that? It's like, dude, it's not that important. What's the most important thing to you when you go out there in front of that crowd is the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
If you're getting a reaction, that's the thing. That's what you should be out there doing. Not worrying about some old man in his mom's basement giving you a star rating.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to sit down and kind of look through like all your like more memorable matches and see like what star ratings like they have and stuff. But to me, it's kind of the star rating is kind of gotten like a little ridiculous, in the fact that like it doesn't mean anything anymore to me. Like, because he gives anybody that does like a bunch of like acrobatic shit 5 stars, and which, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of that sometimes, but it's like, where does that get you? You know what I mean? Like in the grand scheme of things. I mean, somebody can look up your match history and see all these like 5 stars and stuff, but do you have like any kind of memorable feud? You know what I mean? Like I remember 80-year-old lady giving birth to a hand more than I remember some of these matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, what have you done storytelling wise? You know, and some stories are bizarre as hell, but you remember them. You know what I mean?
Yep. The biggest example of these 5-star ratings being bullshit, Kurt Angle has never once had one of his matches rated 5 stars by Meltzer. Not a single match in his entire career. And I can think of a few.
Was he doing 5-star matches? Like, was he doing the ratings then or no?
Yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Kurt Angle has never had a 5-star match.
Yeah, I just like recently heard of Dave Meltzer. Like, it's never been one of those things like growing up or nothing. I never like read the Wrestling Observer or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't read any of that stuff either. I always saw like people would like,
if I did
take excerpts from like interviews and stuff or articles from there or news or whatever and share it elsewhere, but I never actually went out of my way to go find the Wrestling Observer to read this stuff.
Yeah, if I bought a wrestling magazine, it was definitely not to read it. It was more like a poster or something in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't recall like ever reading like a single article about a wrestler.
I would say the WWF magazine or WWE magazine. I would get that occasionally, like if there was
Divas photo shooting. Basically,
I would actually read the magazine. Like, they had a lot of cool stuff in there, like Q&As with the superstars and things like that, or why would you get into wrestling? Like, because I'd flip through it at like those magazine stores are in the malls and stuff. So when my parents were like in the next store over shopping, I'd be in that magazine store like flipping through stuff, or the checkout line at the grocery store or whatever. But the only thing that I ever did buy like multiple copies of was the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, like when they would release their like top 10 or whatever lists and stuff. Or the I think a few years in a row I was buying the Pro Wrestling Almanacs, so that would like give you all the past stuff and everything. But
no, not me.
But that was pretty much it. So.
Yeah. The closest I come to like reading anything is like back in the day when they used to have like programs, and I'd read the program before the match, or before the event, like But other than that, that's all the reading I did on wrestling.
I hear you on that one.
I wonder why they don't do programs
So
no more.
there's
Probably like
that.
a waste of
Like,
paper.
I think they do. I don't think they do it for like the regular shows anymore, like the Raws and SmackDowns. I think they do it for.
Mhm.
I know they do for WrestleMania.
Okay.
I think they may just do it for the PLEs, which would
And then
make sense for me. Makes sense to do it for those.
another thing I would do too. There used to be a guy at in Nashville. I don't know if he's some in Memphis too, but in the Nashville uh, market, there's like a guy that sells like a little bag. I think it was like like $2 or $3. You can buy this like a little paper sack, and it would have like some like old programs and like a like some old photos of like wrestlers like they would normally like sign or sell, but it'd be just
Yeah.
like old random people, like old random wrestlers that like either haven't never seen wrestled or wrestled years ago and stuff. I used to like get notes just to see like who I would like pop out and it's like see if my mom and dad knew who they were and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, all right. I've got a few more things on here. Apparently Malikai Black is done with AEW or will be done with AEW soon.
Going off that vignette they had, I'm thinking that he's definitely gone or
Yeah.
some kind of story. It's talking about being by themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
The
So
House
they,
of Black kind of cool vignette.
yeah, I think they filed for a trademark for Hounds of Hell. So I guess that's going to be their new tag name or whatever, with Brody King and Buddy Matthews and Julia Hart going forward. I'm glad that they're kind of keeping at least those three together for the long run. Like while they're still there, the three of them work well together, and like the look that they have is pretty awesome. So, just hopefully they do a little bit more of them because all three of them are excellent talents, and they definitely deserve a little bit more than what they've been getting in the past. Definitely maybe some singles title runs or a tag team title run or something.
That's probably why Aleister Black is no longer
Probably
with them because they deserve more in the past. And it's one of those things. Like I think a lot of those guys that left WWE, especially around that time frame, I think they thought they were getting more than what they were going to get. And
yeah.
it just seemed like Tony Khan just kept collecting more
for a little bit there. They were getting used quite frequently, and then it's just like Tony Khan kept bringing in more and more people, and then these guys got pushed to the wayside, and that's the downside of AEW's. We say it all the time, like Tony gets a new toy, and all the other toys get forgotten about for a little bit, and then he decides, oh, I miss playing with this toy. Let's go back to this one. So, and then. Understand the frustration with these guys in WWE, especially with Vince being in control and not really using let's face it, like a lot of the guys that Vince pushed were big dudes, like your Brock Lesnar's, your John Cena's, Batista's, Bobby Lashley, and even like Lashley didn't get as big of a push as some of the other guys got. But there are some of the guys that were featured more and in more prominent storylines compared to, your guys like Aleister Black and Ricochet. And
Aleister Black got a decent push. And same thing with Ricochet. Like he initially got a decent push. It's this in wrestling you got to kind of keep your momentum, and it's just the way the business is. Like everybody can't be on top. So it's up to you to do stuff to keep yourself on top.
Yep. The downside with that though, as we can use Matt Cardona as an example of that. When he started doing the whole Z True Long Island story in WWE, trying to get himself, some more attention and focus on him. They used him for a little bit, and then, they just completely shut him down, and he ended up getting, pushed off the stage in a wheelchair by Kane. So, but that's, it's a different time frame now, and social media is a huge aspect of the professional wrestling business. Like, if you're not using social media to get yourself over, you're not, keeping your name out there, regardless of what roster you're on. If you're independent, if you're AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan, whatever, if you're not constantly tweeting or, posting like some kind of content video or something, and just keeping your name, on the tip of people's tongues, and you're not going to get anywhere as fast as you would want to. And that's the same thing. Like, if you're on, WWE, they give you 5 minutes for a match. You need to go out there and take that 5 minutes and, make people pay attention to you. So, and that goes back to, the 5-star match thing with, you need to get the crowd's attention. You need to get some kind of reaction from the crowd. Like, if we're not cheering or booing you and we're just sitting here silently watching you, you're not doing something right. You need to kind of look at that and go, what am I doing? That's not resonating with this audience every time I go out here and try to do this. And that's what WWE or AEW or those guys are going to look at. And the crowd's not doing anything for these guys. Why do we need them? Prime example for that, Rocky Maivia. They booed the shit out of him. And Vince was still trying to push him as a babyface. And then, they finally flipped it and turned him a heel, and now look at him. So if you're not paying attention to the crowd, then, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, and also, too, it's like, some people just got to be, not everybody's a Rock, not everybody's Stone Cold. You need some Kurt Angles. You need fucking, some Test or some Perry Saturns. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be the top of the card to be considered, a legend of the game. Like, I think of some of wrestlers I really like. There's a lot of them, like Shelton Benjamin was always middle of the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris Kanyon, always the middle of the card. It's okay to be in the middle of the card. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that you're not good or you're nobody. It's like,
I mean, even being on the middle of the card, you're still Shelton Benjamin still got a response from the crowd. Kanyon still got a response from the crowd. Honestly, when he asks who better than Kanyon, and the crowd responds, everybody, he's still getting a response. So, and those guys are great wrestlers. So, like you said, you got to have guys in the mid card too. Oh man, good stuff there. So hopefully, if Aleister Black or Malikai Black does come back to WWE, hopefully they give him a little bit better of a run than he had before. Which I don't know, because Andrade is kind of floating in the middle there, not really done too much.
Yeah.
He had some pretty good matches with Carmelo Hayes. Kind of had a brief little run there against LA Knight for the U.S. title, but as of that, there really hasn't been too much else with him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see Aleister Black returning to WWE, at least not right away.
I'll never say never. And we are about a week away from the Rumble.
I mean, even if he does, I see him being more like a Karrion Kross than, a Cody Rhodes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense. Speaking of the mid-carders, Baron Corbin, who was recently released from WWE a couple months back, He's doing the Chris Van Vliet show, and he
Mm-hmm.
dropped his new ring name, which is the Nomad Bishop Dyer, which he's paying an homage to his Lone Wolf character from WWE, with Dyer being a pull from the Dire Wolf reference, and he went with Bishop because that is a higher rank than a Baron. So,
I mean, I don't know. I don't like Baron Corbin. I mean, the Lone Wolf stuff was okay, but I don't know. Maybe he can change my mind, but we'll see. Did he say is he signed? He signed anywhere?
No.
No.
He just said he's just going to be like he's like just going to be like he said. He's like, I'm a nomad. He's like, I'm just going to go around and hit as many indie promotions as I can, and build that momentum back up, and do what I got to do.
If I was him, I'd go to like New Japan or something.
Yeah,
like go to New Japan, learn how to wrestle, and then come back.
He was at GCW's event, I think last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the Bloodsport event that they do. So he actually had a match with Josh Barnett, and the GCW crowd seemed to love him. So they're chatting, please come back after that match. So that GCW crowd is very reminiscent of the 90s ECW crowd. So like they're not.
Yeah. I think with the GCW, I've seen a bunch of like botches on TikTok. Here lately, and people doing crazy stuff that probably shouldn't like be attempting to do at a fucking GCW event. But yeah. But there's cheering for him. That's good. At least he has people cheering for him. More than what I have, right?
Pretty much. Some more GCW news too that kind of goes along into that. PCO was actually at the GCW show Saturday night prior to TNA Genesis, where he was actually supposed to be at Genesis. PCO decided not to show up there, but showed up at GCW. And after his match, destroyed what looked to be the TNA Digital Media Championship. It was actually TNA released a statement that it was just a replica of the title, as they were in possession of the actual title. I guess he wasn't too happy about his new contract offer. We talked about a couple weeks ago about TNA trying to get people to take pay cuts. I guess PCO's pay cut was like 70% of his previous contract.
Mm-hmm.
With the rumors and stuff that are going around about that. So honestly, I don't blame him for being pissed. Like I'd be pissed too. So
it kind of goes both ways, like what we talked about earlier. He's a good wrestler. I like him. But he's not a draw. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anyone that's bought tickets. Like, oh yeah, I gotta go see PCO. You know what I mean? Like, and if you was drawing a crowd in to buy tickets, and you're just getting shortchanged, then I could see like, oh yeah, man, like you got a total great, but if you're not selling out arenas, you don't gripe about what they're offering. Especially like a promotion like TNA that's kind of in crosshairs of they don't have the money of a WWE, and they don't have a rich father that can lend the money, and you know what I mean, like
and we know the biggest reason why they let go.
They've been on the brink of closing their doors for 10 years now.
Yeah, we know that they let go of Scott D'Amore because the amount that he was spending on the TNA product, and these contracts with these guys like PCO and some of these other guys, they're going to try to renegotiate these contracts that are coming up, and they're going to try to go for a lower amount. Like I said, I don't blame him for being pissed, especially being offered like 70% of his previous contract. At the end of the day, I get it. Business is business, and that's what it is. And he's an attraction that, you know, a lot of hardcore fans would pay to see, you know, on like a GCW show or, you know, whatever independent show that he shows up on. Like, people will go see PCO. But he's not, you know, an independent show. Yeah, he's the main event. Could be the main event match of that show. But, you know, in a like a TNA thing where you've got guys like Josh Alexander and Moose and Eric Young, Kaz, like guys like that are more. That's more of like what the fans are paying to see in the main event. So.
Yeah.
What else I got here? One last thing here. This is entertainment related, movie related. There is a new movie coming out on March 7th called Queen of the Ring. Apparently it's about the career of Mildred Burke, one of the trailblazers for women's wrestling. And the cool thing with this that I saw looking at the cast and stuff for this movie, Jim Cornette is in it, plays an NWA, I think, general manager or something. Mickey James, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Camille, and Trinity, or Naomi, all have roles in this movie. So I was like, oh, nice. That'd be definitely something to check out. I'm always down for a good, not just like a serious, but a good wrestling movie. Iron Claw was good. The Wrestler was good.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard of Mildred Burke.
Ready to Rumble was terrible, but I still love it. Damn, Gabriel Iglesias is everywhere with WWE. You think he's working for him?
I think he probably is.
There's a YouTube thing with him. I keep meaning to watch. Where apparently he's got like a pretty big wrestling collection.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely need to.
He's an actual fan of wrestling. So
I know,
it's one of those things where they probably didn't have to offer him a lot of money to just be like, hey,
sure. Like, hey, here's a ticket, come hang out. And it's cool too because like the Matthew McConaughey is in the crowd tonight for SmackDown. Matthew McConaughey is a big wrestling fan. And like we talked about with the Netflix premiere of Raw with like all the celebrities and stuff that were in attendance. It's like cool to see, you know, these celebrities that are wrestling fans, and it helps kind of legitimize our source of entertainment as being like a legit source of entertainment and not, you know, something that people need to go, oh, you know, that's fake, right? Like,
I think
tell it to
Topanga. I think they're trying to do it like kind of like the UFC and then boxing, where you know you kind of have like celebrities show up to the fight.
Yeah.
And it's like more of like an event. Some of the stuff. So I think that's where they're going with, you know, the celebrities. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've always shown celebrities and stuff, but I think they're trying to promote it in that angle.
Yeah, but I mean, like with the celebrities that they show on here, at least we know they're wrestling fans because they've come out and said, hey, you know, I like pro wrestling. Like, I love it. Loved it as a kid. Love it now. So,
yeah. And then in Nashville, you know, me going to wrestling events in Nashville, there's definitely been like WWE events and stuff. I've been at WCW events. There's been celebrities there that, you know, were celebrities just being there watching wrestling and not really getting promoted by the event that they were at, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome stuff there. All right, let's get into some Monday Night Raw. Got a couple things on here to kind of want to pick out from this. Penta versus Pete Dunne. Like, I thought the match with Chad Gable was great. This was right up there, if not maybe better.
Yeah, and I think it kind of shows the crowd that were saying that it was Gable that was carrying Penta. Uh, Penta is very capable of having a good match. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a really good match. Showcased both of their talents.
Absolutely. Loved it.
And I'm kind of glad they gave them quality opponents.
Yeah,
To
and
start off with.
that's like the biggest thing is like they give him Chad Gable for the debut. They give him Pete Dunne. I would love to see him with like a Sheamus or someone of that caliber too. I think that'd be a great matchup between the two of them. But we'll see where we go from there. Ludwig Kaiser would be a great match for Penta. So there's a lot of great talent on that Raw roster that I think will match up well with him going forward.
You think
Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn?
You think Chad Gable's gonna come back as Mr. America?
A lot of people are speculating.
Or the Patriot?
There's a lot of people that are speculating that that the number that Dom gave him was Aleister Black's number. Because they're like, oh, he can show me the dark arts of Lucha Libre. And apparently Aleister and Zelina own a wrestling / like jiu-jitsu school or something. And it's called like Dark Arts. Dark Arts of Wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai or something like that. So a lot of people are trying to pull from that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something stupid. They got like freaking like mini La Parka in there teaching Libre.
Well, I thought it'd be cool. Like him just coming back with like an American mask, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's the Patriot or Mr. America or whatever.
I'm kind of interested to see where that's going to go. One of the other big things on here from Monday night was Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
Another incredible finish to a Raw.
Yeah.
Like they've been
Sammy
pretty good in the last 3 days.
Yeah. Sammy hitting that haluva kick, aiming for Drew. Drew ducks out the way and he ends up nailing Seth. I thought those two were going to go at it, but Sammy was able to finally, smooth it out. Like, I wasn't aiming for you. Like, I was going for Drew. And Seth's like, you need to be more careful. You need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Next time. So
it kind of gets you excited for the Royal Rumble, too, because this is the first time in a while that there's like so many contenders. You know what I mean? Like so many contenders. It's not like one of those ones where you're like, yeah, Roman's going to win it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, he very well could win it, but what I'm saying is it's like, you don't know. You know what I mean? Where in like years before when Roman won, you're like, yeah, Roman's probably going to win it. I don't want him to, but he's going to win it.
There's so much story that they have in this Rumble this year too, with the stuff between Rollins, Drew, and Punk, and now you're putting Sammy in that equation too. Jey Uso.
Roman's in that equation because McIntyre and Kevin Owens don't want Roman to be champion. Or is this what they've been preaching? Who knows? They could form the new Shield or something. But it's definitely. And then you have either Gunther or Jey Uso will be in it.
We know it's going to be Jey Uso. Gunther ain't going to be in there.
Gunther might be. I think Jey Uso is going to win Saturday night.
You really think so?
I think so.
I would love it if they did put the title on Uso. If they did put the title on Uso, man, I would love it. I just don't think they're going to do it, but no one's going to expect it.
No one's going to expect it. And he's fucking. Who else? Name one of those superstars that comes out in the whole fucking arena interacts with their entrance.
Cody.
Yeah, but for one little bit, where everybody's like, "Whoa!" But
they sing the whole song.
The fucking
Same thing with Rollins.
Jay Uso, like everybody's up fucking dancing the whole damn time, and I think he's moving the merch. You got to put the title on him for just a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I would love to see it, but if it happens, that's going to be a whole other story. Speaking of Saturday night's main event, they've only announced like a handful of matches for this so far.
That's what Nia Jax and
Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley.
Which she cares.
Yeah.
I don't see that
Nia's winning that. We've got, there's like 4 matches so far that have been announced. I don't think they announced anything else tonight. Excuse me. You got Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Is that Raw or starting that main event? That's Dominic and JD versus the War Raiders for the titles.
I think that might be Raw.
Is it Raw? Because I know they remember because Dominic's like, well, I'll team with you since
yeah.
Finn isn't here. Whatever. Right? Or am I hallucinating that?
No, that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, because the only thing they have listed here so far for Saturday night's main event, you have the contract signing for KO and Cody.
Oh, with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax, and Gunther versus Jey Uso. Those are the only things they have on here so far.
Well, I mean, it's probably all you need. It's not like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, it's just, a regular show.
Yeah.
No, but that's all they've got listed for matches for here. So there'll probably be a bunch of other segments and stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Jesse Ventura will be back.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Jay wins it, man. And get everybody hyped and you know what I'm saying? Like it's something exciting right before Royal Rumble that'd get everybody talking, and then everybody would want to watch Royal Rumble. If it was me and I was making the decisions, that would be my thing.
I agree. I would do the same thing.
And then you have Gunther. Then you have Gunther in Royal Rumble and see if he could be the first wrestler to be Intercontinental Champion, King of the Ring, World Champion, and Royal Rumble winner in the same year. Well, no, I guess it's January, so that's the same year. So never mind.
Yeah. Oh, awesome stuff. All right. So AEW this week, we had a couple things one thing from Collision. Apparently the Acclaimed are no more. Max Caster came out to the ring and, talking about how he's like the best, the greatest wrestler alive. Had a trademark. So he's got his little trademark document. Anthony Bowens comes out, trying to talk to him, and they start going at it. And then Billy Gunn comes out and tries to smooth things over. And Max is like, like nobody wants to be around you. Like even your own sons don't want to be around you. They've all left you. And then Max looks at Bowens. He's like, you need to make a choice. It's me or Billy. And Bowens chooses Billy. So Max grabs his bag and walks out the ring, and Billy and Bowens scissor to end that segment. So we kind of knew it was coming. The split was coming ever since, MVP was trying to get into the head of the Acclaimed and all that. So we'll see where that ends up. Definitely not with Max Caster joining the Hurt Syndicate. Oh. But speaking of the Hurt Syndicate, new tag team champions, defeating Private Party. So Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, your new AEW tag team champs. Mixed reactions on this that I've seen throughout the interwebs with the internet wrestling community. Some people are psyched for it. I am one of them. Other people are kind of upset that Private Party didn't get a longer or more meaningful run with the tag titles. For this match, so
that's on them.
Yep. No.
That's what Edge was saying. You worry about a 5-star match, and you should be worrying about telling stories.
Yep. So it's like the Hurt Syndicate and tag titles. Beginning of the show, we had Will Ospreay come out, Omega came out, then the Callis family came out, and they got to a big brawl. So that's setting up Omega and Ospreay versus Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher for Grand Slam.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was just like back and forth between Omega and Ospreay. Omega talking about, like, I don't trust you, I don't like you. And then Don Callis comes out, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I trust you. Let's team together. Let's take these guys out. So, well, that was like pretty much some of the big stuff there from AEW this week. I know there's some stuff with the Death Riders too. But pretty much
that's
trying to kill
same
people
thing.
again. So, but.
Yeah, I think they attacked the Rock and Roll Express again, and then
yeah, they attacked Rock and Roll Express. They had FTR taped up the chairs. They tried to kill Edge.
Yeah, and what else did they do? That's time at the end.
Claudio attacked Jarrett, right? Yeah, Claudio hit Jarrett with that a couple of those European uppercuts.
Yeah, well, they're having a match, I think, next week. It was like Claudio versus Jarrett. And then if Jarrett beats Claudio, then he gets the title shot at Moxley. But I want to say, didn't Moxley versus me at the end of the show? Because I remember Jay White running out to save somebody.
It was I think it was Edge.
Was it Edge? Was it Cope versus Mox?
I think it was Cope versus Pac.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Cope versus Pac.
Versus Pac.
I remember Edge hit the Edge ended up winning that, and that prompted, the beatdown and stuff. And then Jay White had come out to try to make the save. I think someone else did too, but yeah, because Edge hit Pac with the spear, but he got him in the back first.
Yeah, and
then hit him from the front and picked up the win.
Yeah,
I remember.
And then there was something else too that I thought was meaningful, and I can't remember. Should write it down. I showed you how bad AEW is. Can't remember none.
Harley Cameron. I honestly, when they brought her in, I was not a fan. For the stuff that she's been doing now, like Feel the Wrath, all this stuff, and like had that little song for Mercedes about trying to face her at Grand Slam. And she wants to ride the money train.
Yeah, with the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harley Cameron's starting to grow on me. So, we had a little bit of segment there with Mariah May talking about taking on Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. I think that was pretty much. I think that was.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, wasn't like a whole lot on there. We had TNA this past weekend with Genesis.
Oh, I know what it was. Ricochet and Ricochet.
Ricochet holding Nana
captive with the scissors
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to kill somebody again.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, that's what that was. TNA Genesis was this past Sunday night. We had. Why can't you just give me just the regular results? I don't want to like scroll through all this shit.
I know the Tessa Blanchard
Tessa
Jordan Grace
Blanchard.
match was they said the white match of the night. I don't know if that's true.
I didn't watch any of it. I don't remember seeing clips, a lot of clips from that either. One of the biggest clips that I saw was during the match. Tessa was getting "She's a Racist" chants.
Yeah.
Then she came out Thursday night on Impact and tried to cut a promo, and they were booing the shit out of her. But she still cut the promo. Didn't stop or anything, but kept going through there. Let's see, quick results here. You had X Division Championship, Moose defending against Ace Austin. Moose picked up the win on that one. We had Eric Young and Steve Macklin defeating Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers. Danny Luna and Jody Threat defeated Ash and Heather by Elegance. Actually, Jordan Grace defeated Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
That was her final match for TNA. Mike Santana defeated Josh Alexander in an I Quit match. The Hardys retained the tag titles over the Rascals. Masha Slamovich retained the Knockouts title in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match that, of course, was suggested to Rosemary by none other than Raven a couple weeks ago. And Joe Hendry captured the TNA World Championship, defeating Nick Nemeth.
Because we all believe in Joe Hendry.
We all believe. Which brings us to TNA Thursday night, which was live. For the first time in 8 years, they had a live TNA. So that's kind of exciting to watch. Joe Hendry had issued an open challenge previously to Thursday night's Impact. Matt Cardona answered the challenge. Joe Hendry actually picked up the win and retained the title over Cardona with some help from none other than JBL, who was on his Clothesline from Hell tour, who ended up clotheslining Matt Cardona.
He was on Raw too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was on Raw doing commentary.
Yep.
Fraxium retained the NXT tag titles against the Rascals, which I'm glad they did this, because remember, the Rascals had won the number one contender to the NXT tag titles like months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trey Miguel, got injured, but he was taken out by Wes Lee, which led to all that. So this new partnership, they put that back into play with that being part of the storyline for that, which was pretty cool. And then we had Sami Callihan come out the ring. There's been a for almost like a month now, or a little more than a month. There's been like the ring has been going dark, and this like number 23 has been flashing on their entrance stages and stuff. So we finally got the reveal to that, which was the return of Seth DeLander, who was in possession of the Digital Media Championship. We said that she had won it in the divorce because she was married to PCO. Kayfabe married to PCO. Ended up getting divorced, and she said, what's mine is mine, and what's his is mine. So she got the title in the divorce, so she's the Digital Media Champion. And then she introduced TNA's newest acquisition, which is her real life boyfriend, Mance Warner, who hits the ring and takes out Sami Callihan. So a lot of stuff there in Impact this week. So Impact was pretty good, per usual. Awesome stuff there. Shit, we're like, had a lot of wrestling talk this week. We're like an hour into this. Haven't got to anything else yet. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Instant Replay. Let's go ahead into the Elite Figure of the Week, which is brought by EntertainmentEarth.com. Use the code FTCollect. Save yourself an additional 10% off on all in-stock items. All right. And Elite Figure of the Week this week is the Elite Greatest Hits Natalia. Which is kind of Natalia. This initially was supposed to be a Walgreens exclusive, like years ago. But then before the figure was able to get released, the Walgreens stuff was discontinued because it wasn't really selling very well. And it was literally just, you know, a bunch of the women's wrestlers that they were doing exclusive for Walgreens. So they had like a Sasha Banks. What's supposed to be in there? Wendy Richter was supposed to be another one that was in that line. But she got moved into one of the other lines. I'm trying to think who else is in there. Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
There's one more. Maurice. I think those
being the third best in the family.
Oh,
behind Owen and British Bulldog. There's Natalia.
I'm a big Natalia fan. Like, I don't. For some reason, people love to hate on Natalia, but
that's what I'm saying. She's probably the third best wrestler in the family.
Yeah, she's one of the few women that have been with the company for so long and still, you know, active on the roster. All the other stuff, and like she's a fantastic talent, a great in-ring performer. So, and this is a great figure. I think this is up there with a couple of other ones that she's got. I think one of the last elites that I got was actually pretty good, but this one's pretty cool too. And I dropped a shirt on the floor, but it's a shirt with her cats on it that says "Paws Out." Paws out, claws out, or something like that. As I try to pick it up without falling on my face. So, let's say paws out, claws out. And it's got their, I think that's her cat, Two Paws. And this figure, the ring attire stuff that this goes with pairs up well with the last Tyson Kidd figure. So. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I'm always down for more Natalia figures. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. All right, so there you go. Elite Figure of the Week, which is going to kick us over to the Fatal 4-Way, which I did something a little bit different this week. If you're not familiar with Fatal 4-Way, it is typically we pick, you know, one wrestler, one tag team, one manager, whatever, and erase them from wrestling history or from a specific time frame in history. But this week, I switched up a little bit and went with four probably the most popular wrestling video games of all time. Those being SmackDown Here Comes the Pain for the PlayStation 2, WWF No Mercy on the N64, WCW NWO Revenge, and Def Jam Fight for New York, which came across out the PS2 and the Xbox. I think it was on the GameCube too. But, so.
No PlayStation 1 games, man.
No. I was like, all right, let me check out some of this stuff here and see what we got for, like, you know, top wrestling video games. And none of the PS1 games were even in the top 5. So these were, yeah.
SmackDown 2?
SmackDown 2 was not in there. It was in the top 10.
Okay. Fun fact. I remember getting Raw is War or Warzone, Raw is War, Warzone on PlayStation, and I remember I was talking to my my cousin Ricky on the phone, and he's planning on coming to stay the weekend, or planning on going to stay the weekend with him or something. But I was like, yeah, man, I got Warzone. And I was like, yeah, I was like, dude, it's like watching TV. And you go back and look at it now, and it's like nowhere close to watching TV.
It's funny. You look at the WCW games, and like the graphics on those, like the actual in-ring models looked a lot better than Warzone and Attitude, but you could do more. Especially when Attitude came out, there was a lot more options in there, especially for like the creator wrestler and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember SmackDown 2 when that came out. My friend and I think Toys R Us used to have like the demo games and stuff in there. That was one of the demo games in there. And we would go to Toys R Us. Like we had the damn games at home. Like we'd go to Toys R Us and we'd stand there for an hour and make ourselves in the creator wrestler and save it on their memory card. So every time we went back in there, like it was there and we just like dick around with it for an hour or so, just playing fucking SmackDown and Toys R Us with our created wrestlers.
Yeah.
We had nothing else to do.
Yeah, I remember there used to be like a website you could go on that gives you like the different like attires, so like where you could create more wrestlers.
Yeah.
In Warzone, and they had like they had like the stuff that make like Too Cool and trying to remember. There were like some other wrestlers, but they had like you could create. They had this stuff in there to create like because even the jacket said Too Cool on them. They had stuff in there to create like other wrestlers that were in WWE at the time. As far as these 4 games here, I've played 3 of them a whole lot. I didn't own a Nintendo 64, but one of my best friends, Chris, he had one, and a few other friends I had them, and those were always cool when you had like a group of friends around, more than just 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
You had like 10 kids in a room, fucking No Mercy or NWO Revenge, like you're playing it, taking turns. I remember playing like plenty of like Battle Royals and stuff like that where on No Mercy, especially like the Royal Rumble. I remember playing like a bunch of Royal Rumbles where, you had to give up your control if you get eliminated and pass it to the next person, So since I have so much fond memories playing those games with, groups of kids, I'm going to keep No Mercy and NWO Revenge. I owned a PlayStation 2. I had a couple of the SmackDown games. Battlefront was like, I played a lot of Battlefront. I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. I didn't have the Def Jam game. I remember playing it maybe once or twice. But I might have to go with SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. Because I just played way more of it. I don't recall it ever being like my favorite game though, so which is like weird that it made the top 4. Like there's other games that if you gave me the day, I'd probably take over that. And it to be honest, like it may be a better game. It's just nostalgia of playing the other games. Because yeah, I probably played WCW Mayhem more than I played SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, but at least I played it.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't have a 64 either until I got a job and had adult money, and then I went back and bought one pre-owned from GameStop just to buy the wrestling games for it. But I had friends who had them, and it's like, and then we'd go play. Like we played a lot of WCW, NWO Revenge. When I finally got the 64 and got No Mercy, I played a lot of No Mercy. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. I had a PS2. Like I was a PlayStation guy, so I had PS1, PS2, obviously 3, 4. I've not upgraded to a 5 yet. I played a lot of Here Comes the Pain, and the biggest reason like this game is so highly thought of, I guess, is because of the career mode or the season mode that it has. It's like a never-ending season mode, and you can continue to play through it and everything like that. If I remember correctly, I think this has a like a GM mode in there too. It's like one of the first games to have like a GM mode, where you can book your roster and set them up on their shows like you can with like the 2K games now. And a lot of people love that feature on these games. Def Jam Fight for New York, I freaking love that game. Like it's so much fun. But as far as like having an impact on future wrestling games, really, it's not really much that comes from Def Jam into the newer wrestling games. So that would probably be one that I would get rid of, or the other three over the other three, unfortunately. But the game was so much fun. Like freaking Henry Rollins, Method Man, Redman was in it. I think Busta Rhymes was in there too. Awesome stuff. All right,
a wrestling game I played a lot on PlayStation 2. I don't know if you played. Did you ever play the Legends of Wrestling?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I played the hell out of that game.
Yep, I got Legends of Wrestling 3. I think it was probably the best one in that series.
I don't know if I played 3. I played 1 and 2.
Yeah, they the graphics were a little better, and they got the controls a little cleaner too, which was nice. Yeah, I remember so stoked when those games started coming out. Like, like I was working at Sears at the time. I think when Legends of Wrestling 3 came out, I think I may still have it floating around here somewhere. I'll have to look at my my PS2 games. So now I've got like a whole stack of them somewhere. But I remember when that game came out, like I was so freaking stoked. Like I had a pre-order from GameStop. It was EB Games at the time, so it was Electronics Boutique. So I had it pre-ordered. Took the day off from work. Went up to the mall, picked it up, went home, and that's all I did. The rest of the day was play that game. And that's every time a wrestling game came out, I took the day off. But that's like, be there when the mall opened, when the store opened, pick up my pre-order, go home and play. And that's it. It's like, don't bother me.
My sister had a GameCube, and she had a wrestling game. What was it called? I think it's like Royal Rumble or something. Was it called Royal Rumble?
They had
like an exclusive. They had like
a Reckoning was one of them.
They had like an exclusive GameCube game, but I don't know why she asked for a GameCube, but she asked for a GameCube one time for Christmas, and she got a wrestling game for it. And I didn't play a whole lot of it because it wasn't her ring, but and we didn't have a whole lot of controllers. But I played a little bit of it, and it was always like fun playing it.
Yeah, so they had it was WrestleMania 18, 19, Day of Reckoning were the three that had come out for the GameCube.
Okay, may have been WrestleMania then. I just thought it was Royal Rumble, but
They had SmackDown versus Raw too. First one.
yeah.
And I think it's Day of Reckoning, and I think there's a Day of Reckoning 2. I don't remember, but I know I had.
It could have been one of
I
them.
know I had the Day of Reckoning, which wasn't too bad. That had a pretty good creator wrestler, and it played a lot like the No Mercy game.
Yeah.
So I just bought a GameCube for the wrestling games. I had Xbox at one point too, when they had WWF Raw or WWE Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like the biggest reason I wanted to play it because it was one of the only games you could do custom soundtracks on because the Xbox had the processing ability to do that, and other than that, the game freaking sucked.
Fun story is I never played an Xbox.
No.
Yeah, I played the Xbox 360, played the Xbox One. I played, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo 64. But it's just when Xbox came out, I had a PlayStation 2, and at that point, I was trying to spend time with girls and stuff, and not like go play video games at somebody's house. And never got around to playing the Xbox. But
Didn't really miss one.
yeah, like I said, my roommate in college had a 360, so I played that. Never played the Xbox, the original Xbox. I almost played it one time. Somebody brought their Xbox in one time because we had a substitute teacher, and somebody brought an Xbox in to play. Or no, the substitute teacher brought the Xbox in. That's what it was. It was like the substitute teacher was like, "Yeah, I'm not trying to teach y'all shit. We're gonna play Xbox or whatever." And I remember they were playing like Madden or something, and I had Knicks. But then, because the teacher wasn't really paying attention to like what's going on, there was like a girl that I was trying to, impress, and I got distracted and never got my turn on the game.
Damn. Hey, so when I worked at Radio Shack, back home, there's any night is me and another girl that worked there. So any night it was the two of us that were working. I'd bring in my PS2 and we just play Guitar Hero. No, that's all we did. So after the manager would leave, wait like 30 minutes, make sure he was gone. I go out to my car, get the PS2, bring it in, hook it up, play Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Never said anything. Never got caught. Like nobody in the mall ratted us out.
Yeah.
I had other days too where I'd bring my freaking Game Boy with me. I had a Game Boy Advance, and I'd bring that in and just sit behind the counter and play Mario 3 or Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And there's another girl that worked there too. So the nights that she was there, she would take my Game Boy. Like if I set it down to go do something or whatever, she'd take my Game Boy and start playing on there. So I was like, don't mess up my game. She's like, no, I made a new save file. So you have one, I have one. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Just take over my stuff. So, yeah.
I thought I Guitar Hero.
Yeah, Guitar Hero was fun. Rock Band was more fun.
I never had Rock Band. I had Guitar Hero. but I didn't like get my own Guitar Hero. I think like Guitar Hero 3. I played it like at other people's houses and stuff.
Yeah. I still have Rock Band. Yeah, well, my Guitar Hero games too. I don't think the guitars work anymore, but
Actually, I take a lot back. I may have played. Which one had like the Taylor Swift like deluxe edition?
I have no idea.
There's like one of them that had like a Taylor Swift like the edition or whatever, and I remember playing that, and then like unlocking the Taylor Swift songs, and you play like "Picture to Burn" or whatever, and
Hmm.
some other like Taylor Swift songs.
It might have been Guitar Hero. I know
Yeah.
Rock Band had a Beatles edition.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff there. Sort of kind of art. Right? No, it's hard. Brought to you by our Redbubble store. Check out redbubble.com/WrestleGeddonPod. Buy some stuff. Support the podcast. So no holds
Yeah.
barred. Oh,
You think that werewolf movie is gonna be any good?
it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's been a while since I like enjoyed a wolf movie.
Yeah,
That's like Teen Wolf or American Werewolf in London. That was pretty good.
yeah. There hasn't been a lot. I still want to see
Twilight,
Nosferatu. That one looked pretty good.
Twilight. So
Oh, Twilight was terrible. Wolfman.
actually, I ain't gonna lie though. I tell my wife this all the time. She kind of laughs because I read the books with my wife when we were dating. The stuff you do trying to court women, and we read the books, and I must say, Twilight, the last book and the last movie is like the only time in history where the movie's been better than the book. Because like when we read the book, I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like because in the movie, like the dude that can tell the future, or the dude that can read minds, touches the girl that can tell the future and sees like this war that happens. Like I don't know. Have you seen Twilight?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, right? They have like that whole war and stuff or whatever.
I guess I really don't remember. I think I saw it through the majority of them.
Okay. So anyways, like at the end they have like this like on the movie they have like this epic war, but that doesn't really happen. It's just the guy that can read minds touching the girl that can see the future, right?
Yeah.
But in the book it's just like the girl Bella creates like a force field and everybody leaves because it's like they're showing the force field. So like you have like this build up to like a war and like nothing happens, which nothing technically happens in the movie, but they do like the little she sees the future or whatever, and they see like what happens or whatever. But yeah, the book was just like the girl created a force field and they got scared and left.
Oh man. What are we looking at here? This Rotten Tomatoes. No, IMDb's got it at a 5.9 out of 10 for that Wolfman movie. I don't know what the Rotten Tomato score is on it, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it when it hits like whatever, like Amazon or
Streaming, yeah.
streaming. It's not something that I'll go out of my way to watch.
I know my kids want to see Megan 2 when it comes out.
I haven't even seen the first one.
You haven't seen the first one?
I haven't.
It's
My kids aren't like
good,
me.
but
They won't watch scary movies. Like majority of them won't. Like I'm lucky. Like I could get them to watch some stuff, but they won't watch the majority of it. I try to get them to watch. What was we were trying to watch. I think it's Alien. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
watch it. I was like, what's wrong
I
with you?
got you.
But Zatanna wants to watch Scream, so I told her she could watch that. But,
Scream?
yeah.
The original or the new one?
I'll start off with the original one.
Okay.
I've been going through those. I was like, yeah, you can watch
Yeah.
that. Not bad in those, just people getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And shot. Something you haven't seen before.
Yeah. That and a lot of teenage angst.
Yeah. We just watched a new season of Squid Games. Got that finished. I wasn't really paying attention to it because I didn't watch the first season. But my family, everyone else is pissed because the season ends on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what they did. So.
Yeah. I heard Britt Baker is supposed to be in the new season of Cobra Kai.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because I know she there's one show where one of the Dynamites where she was out there in like a Cobra Kai jacket or something, and the one dude, like the main head of the dojo, was in the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something else. I saw that was actually pretty cool. I think it's Funko. Saw us doing pops for the Land Before Time.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So basically, what it is the main dinosaurs will be like your normal size pops, and then Sharptooth the Tyrannosaurus is going to be a 6-inch one.
Mm.
It's like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. I can get with that.
Weren't we just talking about the hand puppets last week or something? We were talking about the hand puppets last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we manifested it into existence by talking about it.
Oh man, I wish I could do that. Because there are some like fandoms that need toys.
How far did you make it in Land Before Time? I only made it to the second movie, but apparently they have like 5 or 6.
The third or the fourth, I think. Maybe the third. I don't remember. Oh. I remember the first two.
Yeah, I mean the first one was a classic.
Yeah, I remember they introduced a new baby T-Rex called like Chomper. I think that was that might have been like the third or the fourth one or something like that. I don't remember. I know Zatanna watched them when she was little because they'd come on like Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And they had like the whole Land Before Time series that she watched.
Yeah. Kind of like what was that movie? The Brave Little Toaster. Remember that movie?
Yeah. The Brave Little Toaster.
You don't have as many like good like animated movies like you did back in the day. It seemed like we got like hit after hit, and then it's like some of the movies like were never like really big, but they were still like really good movies. You know what I mean? Like I remember like talking to friends and like they're like, "Oh, what's your favorite Disney movie?" And mine would be like The Great Mouse Detective. And I'm like, I never heard of that shit, but
The Great Mouse
Detective. It was a good movie. Or Rescuers Down Under. Yep. That was another like fucking.
I didn't even know that was a sequel.
Yeah, it's a sequel. The Rescuers.
Yeah, I didn't. When I was little, I didn't know it was a sequel. And then I saw, wait, there's a Rescuers movie? Like, I thought this was the Rescuers. I didn't know there was another one. But the Rescuers Down Under was a lot better than the first one.
Yeah, it was. It was. They both are good though. I didn't realize. I didn't know it was a sequel either until like because I get the Rescuers Down Under for like I think like a Christmas gift or something like a VHS. You know, like one of those gifts that Santa brings you that you didn't know you wanted, but you got it and it was great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I got like the Rescuers Down Under one time for like Christmas, and I watched it, and I'm like, man, this was like really good. And then I don't know, maybe like a year later or so, I remember my sister got like a sing along video. I think it was like Under the Sea sing along, and it had a song from the Rescuers, the first movie, and I'm like, what? Like, there's another movie? And then I went to Blockbuster and checked that shit out, and sure enough, it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the Down Under, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or 50 Goes West. I watched that before I watched the American Tail.
Yeah, I did see American Tail first.
Okay.
And then 50 Goes West. I think I think they may have done a third one too. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but yeah, like all those animated movies are so good. Like We're Back, A Dinosaur's Tale was a good one. So many good ones.
Yeah. Deep cuts. Like I said, the Brave Little Toaster.
Yep, there was a third one. It's the Treasure of Manhattan Island. Not so good.
Oliver and Company. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yep, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Oliver and Company is my jam.
Aristocats. I think that was like an old ass movie. That's re-released it when we were younger.
Yeah. And that was a lot of them.
That's the thing too. That's the thing too. Like a lot of Disney movies that came out when I was younger, but it was just like re-released.
Oh, why not?
Like, oh yeah, I remember when Snow White came out. It was so great. Like, man, Snow White came out in like 1920, 1930, some shit like that.
Oh man, that's awesome. Freaking Disney. I'm trying to think of there's like so much, a lot of damn cartoons.
Yeah. The fucking Transformer movie, that shit was fucking wrong.
They killed Optimus.
Yeah.
I love the G.I. Joe movie.
It's bound to happen.
The original G.I. Joe movie, the animated one.
Oh, dude. Tell you another movie that was my jam. And I remember saving up money to go see this. Was the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
Movie?
The Jetsons.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that one.
I saw that in the movie theater.
Yeah, I saw the G.I. Joe movie on TV because they incorporated it into like the original series.
Yeah.
And they broke it down, in like half-hour parts, and they had like Sergeant Slaughter doing recaps. Like you'd have like the first episode, and like Slaughter would introduce the episode like you normally would. And you get into like the second episode, and he'd like recap it like Cobra's working with the forces of Cobra La, blah blah blah, and we have these new threats to deal with. So it did that like for every part. It was awesome. So
that's something I kind of miss from like cable TV. And sometimes regular TV too. Like I remember, like on Saturday nights, they used to have like scary movies, like a little like show before the movie, or like during the breaks, where they like give you like facts or
like the Super Mario Brothers
kind of
show.
Yeah, There's some kind of like because we used to have like I forget what's the dude's name, but WB on Saturday nights they used to have like it's kind of like Elvira, but it was like a guy, and he like would introduce like these like scary movies and stuff. Uh, and I remember not time. I won't say Time Life, but it's not Time Life. Uh, is it Time Warner Classics or some shit?
Turner
Yeah.
Classics.
Turner Classic Movies. Yeah, and they used to have like the dude talk about the movie. I used to really get into old black and white movies with like a lot of dialogue and stuff, like Casablanca and stuff like that. There's a lot of classic movies that I probably would never would have watched if I didn't have cable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like flipping through, like what? Uh, there was somebody talking about that now. It was like the reason why like kids nowadays don't know like so much like pop culture history like we did. You know what I mean? Like, because even though we grew up in the '90s, like we still like at the '80s and '70s and '60s and even the '50s. You know what I mean? Like we seen the Lassie and Happy Days and the Good Times and all these old shows. Like we were familiar with them, but the only reason why is because we had cable and we are kind of like stuck watching something. You know what I mean? And those shows were on like syndication, and kids nowadays they can watch whatever they want when they want to, so they don't have to. They're not stuck watching, Casablanca or everything on the Saturday night.
The Golden Girls.
No, Golden Girls, that's my show, dude. I still watch that. Still watch that to this day. It just gives me a good feelings when I watch it. My grandparents and because they used to stay up late and watch that with my granny, my papa, my mom's side. Golden Girls was one of those shows. Uh, Cheers, I still kind of Cheers, MASH. This kind of like nostalgia watching some of those old shows.
Yep.
Every once in a while, I watch Columbo. That was a good show. Columbo's another one of those shows that's like dialogue. Like some of the stuff is just like really good writing that you kind of miss nowadays with this like too much action and drama and stuff they try putting in stuff. I think you lost your mic. I can't hear you. Or you're muted.
Oh, there we go. I
Yeah.
kicked my laptop unplugged. What the fuck? Oh, man. All right. Well, that's all I've got for tonight.
Yeah. End of our old man rant. They don't know how good they have it. I used to watch that lot with my granny. Because I had nothing else to fucking do because I was sick and couldn't go to school.
Awesome stuff. Well, that's going to do it for us for this week. If you want to hear us rant more about old TV shows, come back next week.
Yeah. Come back next week. We're going to review Columbo season 1. Dragnet.
Oh, man. Awesome. Make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets. It's WrestleGeddon Pod, 1D, 2Ds. You can find the link tree in the bio. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube, Facebook, all that fun stuff. We do have an announcement. February 7th, we are welcoming a very special guest to the show. He is none other than independent wrestler. He is the Barker of the Bizarre. What the fuck am I drawing a name? The barker of the bazaar, Rico Wildly. So
he just
yeah.
so
Jesus, man. So my bad. So Rico Wildly will be joining us September 7th or February the 2nd. I don't know why I said February, September 7th. I'm excited. You know, this is our like first actual professional wrestling guest. So
besides Seth Rollins.
Yeah, besides that, the brief appearance by Seth Rollins. Yeah, so we're excited to have him on, talk to him, all that fun stuff. So definitely check him out on his social medias. It's the Rico Wildly Official. You can find him pretty much on all the social media platforms, all that fun stuff. So definitely check him out. He's got some great moves, awesome wrestler. So looking forward to talking to him. Got a really unique look too. And I love wrestling clowns, so I'm all about it. Love Doink growing up and Psycho Clown and Crazy Steve. So it's gonna be fun. So look forward to that. That'll be coming up soon, a couple weeks. And that's pretty much all we got this week. So thank you guys for checking us out. As always, this was episode 69 of your WrestleGeddon podcast. On behalf of myself, Chris Heat Matthews, and the Tennessee Jesus Carl Crossland. Chat with y'all next week. Later, Marks.
Hey, man.